8:21. Good morning. Welcome to Island Tea. We are Island Tea, and I'm talking about it's Kortensia and Michelina. Good morning.
Good morning, Jamster.
Good morning.
Good morning to the diaspora and the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And we would just discuss an unfortunate situation.
But it smells like tea, though. A special good morning to all of the shut-in, all of my elders who, I've been told that the shut-ins and the elders are my biggest fan. I love you. Good morning.
Aww.
Good morning to all the teachers in St. Kitts and Nevis who are the absolute champion of the education system and who are going to save the world. Teachers, we are going to save the world. Good morning to everybody in the diaspora. Good morning, world. Good morning, St. Kitts. And thank you. So go ahead, because, you're going to tell this story much nicer.
How? You mean with your tea?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she just wrapped her tea down to get herself in order. She was trying to listen to you say, move to the left. And by the time she moved to the left, her tea moved to the floor, which is very unfortunate. And today I only did a cup of coffee.
To be precise, I did say drift to the left.
Well, you made her drift with her tea to the left. Although her tea went right. So her tea didn't obey the words of the song.
But the I don't know if you could smell it. If you could smell it.
It's fever grass.
No, it's that
Fever
hazelnut.
grass? What's fever grass?
Oh, it's a coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's what you brought that got spilled.
Yeah, cafe barista. She had the hazelnut flavor in her
Yes,
stuff.
and it's my absolute favorite.
You made it home?
Hazelnut.
I did make it at home. So maybe it's a sign to get like a new tin, a new can.
The can's done?
Almost.
Okay.
Yeah, my coffee's done too. I have to get some this week.
But
So you still
I'll
haven't gotten the
definitely
coffee?
treat myself on my way out to distress. Just get.
So you're gonna go rituals?
Yes.
Okay.
And get a nice hazelnut something.
Yeah, I like the
To soothe
cappuccino
my
and the
soul.
vanilla too. I don't really do the mocha because I'm not a mocha girl. No, I don't like the idea of chocolate and coffee.
No?
It spoils it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has to be coffee.
It's like make it chocolate or make it mocha.
Exactly. I don't want both.
But you like vanilla in coffee?
Well, I like
French vanilla.
Yeah, that's the one from Cafe Barista, the blue one, the blue and cream package.
What's Cafe Barista? Is that a brand or
It's
is
a
that?
new brand.
That's the
was
coffee I was telling you about. I saw
okay.
I sent you some pictures
No.
with it. Yeah, I did.
I buy
You
mine
probably
at
didn't-
Rams. Where do you buy
So,
yours?
so you guys
Rams, the Chinese, depending on the day, because I have to have some coffee.
you guys use the prepackaged
yes.
mixed.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I
on
don't know
most
how
days.
to make real coffee jams in like
It's
a
easy.
real coffee machine.
just buy a coffee maker. Well, I have a coffee maker, but it's easy. You just put the conventional measurement for a cup, which is 6 ounces, is two. There'll usually be a scoop that comes with the coffee maker, 2 scoops, and then the drip thing, and you put in the filter.
I see Colin does this thing where he has these things that they have in movie, like this metal.
He has the
coffee
French.
pot
That's the
with
French.
octagon thing on the top and
That's
the
the
little black
French.
thing.
Oh.
He has like those.
That's
and
the French. The
multiple-
French press.
Oh, so he's a coffee
Yeah.
connoisseur
Oh.
then.
Okay.
Yeah, he has
Ooh
like
la la.
multiple sizes of those, and then he has like a really like proper
Okay.
coffee cup. And
Yeah.
he goes like, "Could you want some coffee?" I'm like, "No, your coffee's gonna keep."
Oh,
me
me
for
and
3
Colin can hang out there.
and it's so
It's
strong.
all a mind game. Coffee doesn't keep anybody up. I could drink as much coffee as I want before bed, and I go and instantly fall asleep. Whatever you believe happens.
I think it's definitely not a mind game, because if I have like real coffee after 12 o'clock, I am not sleeping. Sometimes I
After
go
12 a.m.
No, after 12 in the afternoon. Like I'm jittering. It's almost as if my body reacts to it. When I go to the Amway Bakery and I get like a coffee, the girls always look at me with like a strange eye, because I say, "Can I have the cup?" And I'm like, "Why you want the coffee cup?" And I'm like, "I just want this much coffee, literally like a little bit." And then the rest is water and the rest is milk.
You're drinking water.
I think I have a caffeine sensitivity, but I want to be grown and adult. So I'd be like, I want a coffee, but I can't really drink the coffee.
So grown and adult is drinking coffee.
Yeah, I find it's very sophisticated. Like,
Not a thing.
A glass of coffee in a cafe and a book. I feel like so chic.
So bougie.
Yeah.
Bougie, oui, oui. So how was your weekend?
My weekend was completely absorbed in my mommy. You know, I'm a primary caregiver again, and it is really,
it's
really,
a lot of work.
Really hard. So all of you women, sons, everybody out there who is giving care and you are a professional, hats off to you, whether it's to a child with special needs, whether it's to a child without a father or children without a father, an elderly parent, a sick spouse. Whatever the circumstances that I might not have mentioned because I don't understand your context, but if you are giving care and you have a job, or even if you're giving care and you don't have a job, the fact that you're caring, a high salute to you because it is not easy. I completely lost all sense of composure yesterday. My coping mechanisms are ridiculously off. I was like synchronizing curse words before I went to church yesterday. And, you know, everybody just watching me like, you know, they're like, so are you coming to church?
Okay.
You know, are you coming to church? Because your sins need to be washed off. And I'm just like cursing bad words, like syllabicated, beautifully rhythmed, like Creole, like just delicious bad words. Because
oh boy,
yeah,
I didn't even know there were tasteless and delicious ones.
I'm good at.
I thought they were all untasteless.
No, trust me, with a linguistic degree, I'm just like so it was. I'm not coping very well.
Okay.
But I'm trying.
Okay.
So how was your weekend?
Oh, it was all right. My body told me yesterday afternoon. I was supposed to go to a little birthday party, but my Jeep, I think the alternator light came on, so that couldn't work. And then my body shut down. I guess it was really, really tired. And now, as you hear how I'm sounding, my throat wants to shut down, but it's not going to work. But yeah, it was a decent weekend all in all. I got my chores done. I got my laundry done. I just have to fold them now. And yeah. I cooked yesterday. So yeah.
And I went to the beach. Have you been to Frigate Bay lately? Like
No.
up where the fancy houses?
You mean the castle?
I don't know what it is, but
You mean the
there's
house on the hill?
the house on the
The
hill.
soul house on the hill?
Yeah, like they mash up the hill
Yeah.
to put a house. No, they mash up the hill because the hill just look mashed up, man. I went up close. I'm like, why they mash up the hill?
Oh, so you went to that beach. Yeah, that's the beach of everyone.
Frigate Bay?
Everybody goes there. Even, I don't know, in the afternoon at 5. I don't know if you realize, but that's therapy for most people. And they're all friends. So when they go there, when me and my husband used to go, they're all shouting at each other like, hey, how are you today? So everybody goes to that watering hole, as I call it.
Yeah, definitely a watering hole. So
Yeah.
I went there Saturday for the first time. Of course, you know, I went to investigate how they mash up the hill and how unsafe and unsightly it looks. But no,
where's this?
Frigate Bay.
Frigate Bay.
Frigate Bay is like a whole new ecosystem.
Yeah,
now.
with
It's
the
like
with
a
the
whole new
castle,
beach.
the white and blue house that's on the hill now.
You mean behind Timothy Beach?
Yes, sir.
So what is it? Is like a night spot?
No, it's a house.
Oh,
The house
okay.
it's the house. Remember the house that slid off the foundation?
Oh,
That's
They
the
went to
person
put
they
it on
rebuild.
another hill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, that hill wasn't really.
Okay.
That hill wasn't all that.
Okay, so it's 8:30. We got Traffic Talk coming up next. Brought to you by Caribbean Alliance Insurance. We're gonna go get hear from our sponsor and come back with Traffic Talk.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Be careful on the road.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention.
8:32, and we got the distinct pleasure of having
Begging you to.
Officer Sophie Henry here for today's episode of Traffic Talk. Why is this funny?
Because it's Sergeant Sophia Henry.
Yeah.
I love
Correct,
that.
Sophia.
Yeah. And I want to start off with a complaint before we get into
A
things,
message
Sergeant
from
Henry.
the public. A message from the public.
No, I'm complaining on behalf of me.
Oh.
Public Works was fixing a pipe at the second roundabout in Frigate Bay, the one that advertises that has the St. Kitts Tourism logo. There is a sign on the left-hand side of the road that clearly says, "Do not enter." However, that was it. The sign looked like it was knocked down, like parts of it was on the road, but it was still up. But there was nothing to say detour. And when we were coming back from Frigate Bay, it was Friday night, so everybody's heading to the strip. We just went for a little drive. Everybody disobeyed that sign. And we were trying to stop them and tell them you can't go. But they were still going. Most of them had their windows up. You can see their young people heading to the strip. And they just ignored us. We're lighting them, we're flagging, and nobody is understanding. I don't know what happened when they got up there and saw what was happening, because there was nowhere to go but into the oncoming traffic around that roundabout. So I don't know if it is the signage that was missing, if persons weren't sure if they go down that road, because a good bit of us turned. They didn't sure where they would have ended up. I mean, to get out into Frigate Bay. And for those that did not adhere to do not enter, what happened when they got to the top of the roundabout? Because there was a truck with its tail out in the road, so they couldn't pass there. And then, as I said, there was nowhere to go left around that roundabout. You could have only gone right and met up with oncoming traffic.
The second roundabout, that's by
Silver,
Reef?
yes.
So you have a sign there say...
No, before before you get, there's a yellow house and then Mr. Berry's.
And
the
Mr.
Joburg.
Berry's,
Okay,
yeah.
so the yellow house where you turn down, the sign was like a little up, just by the yellow house, saying no entry. But there were people that were still going, ignoring the no entry sign. As I said, maybe there should have been a detour sign too, so they know they can go down. But they weren't listening. And when we were coming back, we were flagging and lighting, and nobody was paying attention to us. They were just going around the no entry sign.
So that problem is on public, you say water department, right?
Yeah.
Right, but we weren't aware of that.
Yeah, no men at work, nothing. So people were just literally ignoring it. And I thought that somebody could have gotten in a bad accident. And the fact that the cars were not even paying attention to us, flagging them, hands out, lights up, and people were still going.
Then they should have informed something with Frigate Bay to let them know that, they're carrying out some work, and then they could have put a sign there.
Just a no entry, and nobody.
But could they just like put a no entry sign, start working, and not collaborate with traffic?
It should not happen, but sometimes it does.
Because maybe I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say maybe they collaborated with the traffic.
No, they did not. No, they did not. Because up to Saturday, while I was heading from home going across, because I live Taylor, so I have to drive behind Washington and Avic. And there's a street there that says Hezekiah Street. Mm-hmm. That's the street between the Playfield and the Washington Archibald High School. And a young lady came up there, and it's a one way, you only can go down. So I stood right there in the crossing that she can't come. I said, this is a one way. She said, oh, the road down there is blocked. I said, but it's a one way. You could have driven around the other side and come around. Mm-hmm. So then when I went down now to turn left to go down into Victoria Road, there was 2 trucks there. And Public Works were fixing the road, the holes and what's not. And nothing was
No
relayed to
signage
us. Nothing was relayed to traffic that we could have said something.
Okay, so we are gently saying to Mr. Williams, whomever is in charge of public works, there's a greater need for collaboration.
That's water department.
Water
Gilbert is in charge. Yes, so I
Mr.
think they're
Gilbert.
supposed to be doing some work this week. I don't
I think
know.
she said water department.
Yeah, but,
department.
yes, but I was talking about.
So it's Mr. Gilbert and Mr.
Yes.
Williams. There's a greater need for communication with traffic
Yep.
in order to keep the citizens, the pedestrians, and the drivers of St. Kitts and Nevis safe. When there's collaboration, the communication is clearer. I know from time to time we have the callers calling in and they're saying, you know, the traffic is not
Yes.
doing their job, and they get all kind of flack for not doing their job. Sometimes
it's
they're not aware that they have a job to do because more often than not it's not communicated. Or maybe the communication is started, but the process is not finished. When communication is not done properly, when the communication loop is not done, we put lives at risk. When we put lives at risk as an institution, we put the government at risk. We put all of us at risk, and it's very unnecessary. So here we have two very live, two very real experiences of lack of communication, just systematic procedures not being followed as they should have been followed. These are lived experience. And, you know, Kortensia said complaints, but I like to say messages from the people. So let us work together to make a greater effort to communicate. I'm not sure who is the communication officer for water department and who is the communication officer for public works. I know sometimes the communication department, I'm not sure if they work on the weekends. But let us make a greater effort to communicate, because as Sergeant says, safety before convenience.
Yes.
Safety must be an element of the process, productivity, and the work that needs to be done. Last week we were talking about engineering, and you know, sometimes form and function takes precedence before safety. But when we are doing structural work, when we are doing work on the road, the water, the tree, whatever work we are doing as engineers, as builders, as contractors, safety is an element of the work, is not separate and apart from. So if we have citizens who are clearly feeling not safe, having their safety put at risk, it means there's a call for us to do better and to do more. This is not an attack. Please, this is not an attack. Don't come for me. But if you feel so, please do. You might meet me. It's just a call for awareness, because sometimes we are doing things and we are not following through with the procedures, and we're putting people at risk, not willfully, but in an attempt to be productive, in an attempt to get the work done before Monday, because I'm certain nobody really wants to be working in the night. So if you're working in the night, it means you have to work in the night. If you're working on the weekend, it means you probably going out there trying to be on the road with less traffic, with less pedestrian. When we doing what we need to be done, let us do it properly. Competence is a defense. Communication is a defense. Good faith is a defense. But we don't want unnecessary road fatalities. We don't want unnecessary damages to persons' property, be it the vehicle. We don't want unnecessary damage to individuals. So please, let's just communicate tighter and better. From
Thank
the
you.
citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yes. And this morning I'll start off. Last week I spoke on the revised policy of the Traffic Department, Standing Order number 4 of 2023. But before I get into that, the mission statement of the Traffic Department is the role of the Traffic Department is to improve road safety, educate drivers and other road users on the principles of safe driving to reduce the rate of accidents and to have a more effective traffic mobile patrol, and to be seen to do all this with integrity and impartiality. I know sometimes you say, oh, the police, them don't have any, what I must say, any leniency for persons and what's not. Sometimes we do. But when you go over the limit, there is where we'll have to step in. And this morning I'm back here again to educate the public, not only motorists but owners of vehicle, because you can own a vehicle and you're not a driver. You don't have to have a license to drive. To own a vehicle.
Yeah.
But you must have a license to drive that vehicle.
Yep.
Yes, you can be the owner, but you cannot drive because you don't have a license.
You don't have a license.
And once you don't have a license, you wouldn't be insured by any insurance company. And the stability of registration number is maintaining a strict policy against changing or switching vehicle registration numbers. Because some person might have 3 vehicles in their name, yes, and they want to take this number off of this one and put it on the other one. That's a no-no,
Okay.
right. And this serves several critical purposes in the context of law enforcement and public safety. Because if you just been switching numbers like that, if for us to keep a clear record of this vehicle and that number, it will be something for the police. Because some accident happen, and you say, oh, this number and this vehicle, something you don't know the number, you could say, okay, it's P30 whatever, and you can't remember, but you could say it's a BMW or whatever. But if you're going to switch the numbers, it's going to be very difficult for us to keep records of.
Okay.
So, as I said, if you have several vehicles, you cannot just come to the traffic partner and say, okay, why don't we register this vehicle and put this number on it? No. This can only be done if you get a new vehicle, or I buy a vehicle from somebody, and the person said they're retaining the number. Then I can say, okay, after I have 3 numbers on vehicles, I would like to take this one and put on that one. That's the only how that can be done.
Okay.
Once the person is retaining the number.
So what happened to those folks who, as you rightly said, they have 3 or 4 vehicles, the plates can be removed, they're basically magnets, and they decide that, let's say, P989 is not valid anymore, let the license, and they decide to put that on the other vehicle. That's a no.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you can't just take off a number and put it on another vehicle, you must get it registered.
Okay.
And if you put it on a vehicle that is not the registered vehicle, can be charged for driving an unregistered vehicle. What? Yes.
Okay. All right.
I have a comment here. Someone is saying that the traffic department seems to have a practice of, you guys erect no entry signs, but you don't erect detour signs to assist motorists. What do you say to that?
We do not erect detour signs.
Yeah, so you just put no entry, but you don't give us alternate route.
Well, you mean if something is happening? Because you don't have to put a detour sign if you said no entry.
You see what I said?
No, but listen,
Sergeant?
If I said no entry, okay, for instance, the road come down Navy Street. When you get to the second to last road before you meet Seaton Street, it's a one-way. So do I have to put a detour sign there? Because
Does it have a no entry sign?
It's have a no entry and you have the one-way.
Okay.
Wait. You mean the street that goes across to the south of the old girls' high school?
Yes.
That's one way?
Yes.
Which way in? Out or?
Out.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So, if you
I
put
didn't
a
know
sign
that.
saying no entry,
Don't
if
drive
you're
there.
doing something, say, okay, for instance, accident happened, then you have to have a detour sign, or if you're doing some kind of construction work or whatever on the road. But if you put a no entry sign,
Don't enter.
yes.
You all heard that? If there's a no entry sign, you cannot enter. So for people that were doing nonsense on last Friday, nonsense,
I guess maybe what
follow the rules.
maybe what the commenter means is that
If they are doing something on the road.
and there might be situations. Okay, in those situations, it's obvious
Right.
where the alternate routes would be. But I guess what they mean is that there are cases where
Like,
it might be helpful if you said, okay, detour, and it might be best if you took this route.
well, we don't have no detour sign, but I know when public works or water department, they will put up the signs.
Okay. So there's an overlap in terms of, in a situation like that, so there's kind of an overlap between who gets to erect signage then.
Remember, Public Works deal with road.
Yeah.
We deal
Fixing
with
the road.
not only fixing the road, but
Road
when
maintenance?
yes.
Right, so there's an overlap.
So yes, we work together in collaboration.
Together.
Yes.
So there's an overlap with signage
Yes.
then, yeah. Okay. Okay. Another point that there's a question from the newsroom. They want to know about the levels of tickets issued last year.
I don't have that right now. I can get
Next
it for
week.
them next week, Monday, God spare.
Okay.
Yes.
Not possible today after you leave the office? Can call you and hug you and no, not possible. No. Okay.
I know we
All
did a good amount this month so far.
Tickets?
Yes, for last week alone, it was about 70.
For what? What was the most committed offense?
Speeding.
Oh, jeez.
Speeding.
It wasn't
Yes.
I thought it would have been packing. Okay.
me too, because I see a lot of people at
I'm
yellow
like, where are
lines.
they going? With so much cars. Like, how are you speeding?
And there's nowhere far in St. Kitts. That's the next thing I failed to mention. So I don't understand why they couldn't take the little back road and get out to Frigate Bay. It's even easier.
Yeah, because you can take the road down by the first roundabout.
Even that one,
And go
or
straight down.
come a little bit more to where the no entry sign was and turn down by the yellow house. You know, the big green house, and then there's the yellow house, and then Mr. Berry house. Oh boy, I'm mixing up. Okay, so where the Joe Berry station is, let's
Yes.
come backwards. There's the yellow house. There's a road right after there. You turn down there, and then you continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pleased to announce that we have our first caller.
Alrighty.
Good morning and welcome to Island Tea.
Good morning. On the subject of no entry signs and the absence of detour signs, which the officer has acknowledged, there are a number of factors here. We see no entry signs. There's no indication on these signs that these are police department signs. If I'm driving along a road late at night and I suddenly come upon a no entry sign, how do I know that someone who means ill hasn't put up that sign to cause me to drive down a road I'm unfamiliar with and then attack me? How do I know that?
Ooh, safe.
On that section of road in Frigate Bay that you were speaking about, the assumption is this, that the motoring public knows where to go when the main road is closed. I've found myself on occasion driving through Sandy Point and come upon a no entry sign. I know nothing about Sandy Point except the main road. I'm forced to follow a bus and say, well, he must be going to Bastia. Let me follow him in order to find my way through the back streets of Sandy Point.
Wow.
It happens in Old Road as well. One is forced to go up through the area where towards Carabel Boutique. One is not familiar with that. How is one supposed to know where to go?
They come
In the
around.
case of an emergency, a traffic accident, one could understand the sudden erection of a sign to say you cannot come here. But when a road is going to be closed for an extended period of time, for whatever reason, when it is known in advance, such as that event on Keon Street some weeks ago, it is incumbent and responsibility of the police department to provide motorists with an alternative, not assume that every motorist in St. Kitts has in their arm a chip that tells them what the alternative routes in St. Kitts are. This is not 1970. This is 2024, when according to the statistics, we have over 27,000 registered vehicles in St. Kitts, many driven by people who are not local to the country. And if I normally live in Sadlers, don't expect me to know the side roads of Frigate Bay and know where to go. And so simply saying we have no entry, we have no detour signs, simply says like the traffic department needs to get detour signs, not leave it on the motorists to figure out how to get places, especially in the case where I said, which has happened to me on occasion, where it is late at night, I come upon a no entry sign along a main route, and I have no idea where to go, and I'm to wonder, is this someone who just came out and put a trap here at 2 o'clock in the morning? Please consider those thoughts. May you have a wonderful, hard-working day and week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carla.
He actually makes he actually makes a good point about
and his comments are
yes.
noted, and
Yes.
we'll work
Those-
to make things better.
Those detour comments actually, because I actually experienced that during elections. Was it last year? Was it elections? Year before.
Year before.
I remember. I think it was either PAM or PLP had a meeting in the Old Road, and I had to go to that side of the country, and I think there was only one time, and I did the same thing. It occurred to me. I said, "Oh,
Follow
okay,
up.
Follow up.
yeah, follow up,
Wow.
yeah, exactly." That's what I
Wow.
did. So, and you drive around.
Yeah,
and
because I figured maybe persons aren't sure of where that road would have led, because say
'Cause
there were 6 cars coming up, only
Mhm.
one turned down that road, and the next 5 passed that no entry sign, like they did not see it.
And it could have been, as Mr. McMahon said, a safety.
That's not Mr. McMahon.
Sorry. Caller. Sorry. I'm just, sorry. It could have been like what the caller said, the issue of safety. So I'm going to ask Sergeant a gentle question. Is it possible when the detour is necessary to have traffic officers along the road or army people along the road? No?
I can say it is possible. I will be able to get the sign, but to put someone there.
Stationed.
Yes.
Because I thought the police
might
should have been
be.
there too.
No,
or
I
somebody
thought the
to keep
police
them
should have been there for breaking the rule, but also for safety, because officer, if I am driving alone, we know Auntie Michi not driving no time. But if I'm driving alone and it's late at night, like, I'm not putting my safety, my body
risk.
as a young woman, a single woman, at risk to, I don't know, do what you say. And it might be that I go put my body and my life at risk because I'm going to drive over a cliff.
The thing is, you probably only need 2 officers, because take for example, if
Or
you have,
even one, and
Oh,
once they see the lights, they're gonna respect it. I don't think anybody would have passed that no entry
No,
sign
but
seeing
what
an
I-
officer there.
but what I mean is in terms of the detour.
Detour, yeah.
So if you have an officer at each point that says, okay, if you're going to town, you're gonna see the signs with the arrows. Just follow the arrows, and then you have one on the other end as well saying the same thing.
We can do that, but if we are out of officers, because it is,
Yeah.
then we could put this sign and we could put little markers or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll try to make things better for the public. And that's why we are here, to get your grievances, and we can see what can be done better.
And we have another grievance on the phone.
Or maybe somebody calling
Good
to
morning.
give a compliment.
Good morning, you're live on LNT caller. Go ahead.
Hey, greetings. I'm listening to the sergeant, and I do not understand why the traffic department is involved in all this clerical work. The police duty is enforcement. So I think we need to move away from all the clerical work, just like the fire department did. And one must understand, when it comes to roads, the only agency who should be erecting signs is Public Works.
What?
Of course, they should notify the traffic department. And I've been calling so long, I had something else to say, I forgot. But I'll call back at another time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Call go right
Thank you,
Okay,
caller.
we had another call, but hopefully they'll call back.
Sergeant, what do you say about the only persons that should be erecting signs is Public Works?
Well, for now, signs fall on the traffic department, and we work in collaboration with Public Works.
Yeah, I feel safer with traffic department putting up the sign.
For now. We don't know how it'll go later on, but for now,
Yeah.
yes.
I like the collaboration because we have to deal with the public psychology as well. When I see an officer, when I see a uniform, I see the force of the law. I see everything that supports that uniform and that personnel. When you see Public Works, they don't have the same position.
The same, the same.
They don't have the same.
And I think that's when people were so disrespectful.
And then remember, is the licensing authority, which is the commissioner. So, as the caller called before, and the one who said that we should have something, say, license authority or whatever. Right, when we put up the sign, then we'll try to put that on it to know that, okay, it is coming from traffic.
So there needs to be a greater collaboration and communication between traffic and public work.
And people just need to respect the sign. It says no
Yes.
entry, don't go there.
So public work, traffic, and the drivers, the motorists and the pedestrian.
Yeah, as drivers, we just have to respect it, because where you going? You're going to go up there, you're going to inconvenience somebody, because traffic can only come around that side of the
And then a
roundabout.
congestion there.
Exactly, you're going to hit somebody. It's wrong. You
And then
cannot
an accident,
pass.
and then you have to wait.
Exactly.
And when you have to wait, is a problem. Oh,
Yeah.
so long this accident happened, and people
Yeah.
don't
Okay.
understand.
And I heard traffic court not easy either.
Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning to everybody.
Good morning, Rusty.
That in my younger days, we didn't have that many traffic police. I think about 3 or 4 people running traffic. We had the guy in the middle of 4th Street doing a really good job. There was no zebra crossing, no pedestrian crossing, and everything went well. But since then, and back in the 80s and the 90s, when we have a lot of cars and stuff like that, and then worse, when we get these traffic lights, the whole traffic is in a mess. And the traffic police only work, if I'm incorrect, please clear me up. Traffic police only work from 8 to 4 or 4:30 in the afternoon, which gives me an opportunity to speed. I'm a speeder. I like to speed. I try to speed when I'm police or when traffic is not on the road. I do that. So please don't give me a ticket when I come home. But that's what I do. The thing is, traffic police needs to be on the road 24/7. That's what needs to happen. I don't understand. The first thing, traffic police need to have vehicles with computers and wired to the office or what have you. They drive up behind my car, they realize I'm not registered, I don't have the proper license. All that stuff. That's what we need to do. This is 2024, 21st century, and we still operating like 1972. Still, come on. I'm listening. I really was just trying to listen. I prefer to just call it on politics, but I'm listening and I say, let me just call in and share my opinion on this thing. I do not like how the traffic police is run. It is ridiculous. They need to change a lot of the system. The lights thing, I think we need to stop the lights, get back to the streets, start parking on some sites so people can move good up and down, and then until you figure it out, it works. There is no reason why I'm coming from west, I can't turn down West Square Street. There is no reason. A stoplight can be there. There are 4-way stops. What you have to do, you come, you see what time you come, the person move before you, then you move. What's wrong with the traffic lights on the other side from east to west, and that the sensor set to allow the west car coming to turn on West Street? I mean, come on. When I get in that area, I have to go all the way by Valley Mart, turn around to come back to go. It's just crazy. I'm done. Sorry to give you guys so much of my passion. Thanks, Carl. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Rusty.
Thank you,
Always
caller.
welcome.
Okay, let me clear up what you said. Traffic department we do not work from 8 to 4:30. The office hours are from 8 to 4. That's where you come to do your registration of vehicle, your change of ownership. When it comes to temporary driver's license, we work up until 7, 8 o'clock in the night. The traffic department is open 24/7 because if an accident occurs, the traffic officer responds to such. The only time the office is closed is 4 o'clock when the office hours, the office work finish. But when it comes to anything else pertaining to the traffic, road safety, or whatever, the traffic officers are there. So I don't know where people get this thing from that traffic closes at that time. No. Traffic work up until
24/7?
Yes.
Okay. I think sometimes it's because, allegedly, sometimes, up the village, the door does be put.
No, the door is closed. It is a closed door because AC is in there.
No, but if you could imagine, think about the psychology of the individual. If you see a door closed, and we know certain administration only happen between certain time, if the door is closed, then you are communicating to the public you're not available. So That is what I think. I honestly think y'all is closed down because the door closed, and I think when the door closed, nobody should go in there because y'all closed. I'm just saying what the door closed signifies, what it's a signal of. The door closed,
Yes.
shop shut down.
So in the morning when the door is closed, you figure that we are closed. Because the door closed ever. All the time it's closed. It's AC, so the door is closing.
Safety over convenience.
No, it's not. The door is closed all the time.
Sergeant Henry, I have a question from a person. They said he wants to know about the policy for the white paint on the roads. It's a hazard when using the roads at night, and you can't tell where the middle or the edge of the road is. We have so many roads, especially in Nevis, that lose their paint and it's not replaced, and roads are sometimes constructed and paint does not come until months after, if at all.
Well, down here, I know down here they have the road in the line, and they have the cat eyes.
Okay.
In the middle, so you could tell where is the middle of that road. Some places, well, they don't. So I can't really speak for Nevis. I only could speak for St. Kitts.
Okay. But he's saying it's a hazard when using the roads at night, as you can't tell where the middle or the edge of the road is. So you mean all the cat eyes are gone, basically?
In Nevis, I don't know.
The second question was concerning Nevis, but I know this individual to live here on St. Kitts.
Well, the white line, it reflects.
Yeah, no.
It reflects when you drive. So you can tell, but maybe some of the road don't have
the lines.
Yes.
Okay.
But then we can work on that, as I said.
Okay.
I am here to take.
Okay.
Everybody
Let's take our last call. We're a little over time, but very interesting program. Traffic Talk, your last caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, real quickly. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Real quickly, the officer spoke about like people speeding, right? So I want to know what type of equipment they use to determine such. And the complaints about the departments lagging with technology, right? We have such great relationship with Taiwan. Why we can't use these Taiwanese to get these departments, advanced, up and running with this technology stuff? I mean, is it because the politicians are not requesting these things to put in place, or they're just looking for the ops? That's my little contribution. Thanks.
Ooh.
Or reinvest the ticket money.
One quick comment before you go. Someone says, put a sign on the door stating the office hours, meaning traffic department. And the complaint about the paint applies to St. Kitts as well.
Okay.
Are you getting like special messages, Jamster?
Me too,
I
because
do.
that wasn't from the wall.
Yeah.
Persons are messaging me.
Yeah, the person, I think before this call, he spoke about if I'm as a police officer driving behind someone and I want to know if something happened. Yes, we have that. We don't have to have it in the vehicle. We can also pull it up on our phone because there's a vehicle and registration system that each officers have access to.
Oh,
so yes, we just pull it up and we know who the vehicle belongs to, the color, whether it's licensed, whether it's insured. Yes, we don't have to have whatever in the vehicle. We have it on our phone. Once you have a device, yes.
And you stop behind someone, you can do that?
Yes, you can. Even if you see a vehicle pass you, once you have the number, you can pull it up. And you know who is the owner, everything.
One other comment. Totally agree with the last caller in the fact that the police are enforcers of the law. Traffic and transportation should be functions of the planning department in collaboration with public works and the police.
Ooh, I didn't even think about planning. Whoever sent that message is very brilliant. Thank you for that.
Thank you for your contribution.
I was like planning, traffic, public work, citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. Good one.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll give you the last word, officer.
A vehicle owner may request his or her registration number to be reserved for an additional 12 months. So after that 12 months, then it is the right for the traffic department to take that registration number from that person if it is not registered. I must say licensed. So you can ask it to be reserved for 12 months. After that, it is our right to take
it back.
Yes.
Wow.
So if my number is P6 and I don't license it, you can
For a
take
year.
that back?
Yes.
Wow. So you
Yes,
have to
we
go
can.
and let them know that you intend to keep it, but maybe your vehicle down and you're working on it.
Right, but you have 12 months. After that, we can take it.
Yeah, but if I came to you within the 12 months and said, look, I'm fixing my vehicle.
Right, then you have an additional
Okay.
12 months.
Okay.
Yes.
Or you go away to study.
Oh, Jesus. Ask the sergeant, right?
If you go with the study, we take it. Tomorrow we have the largest ship or the biggest ship in
the
port.
world. Mm-hmm.
So I'm appealing to the drivers, the motorists, also the pedestrian. Please to adhere to the signs. The officers will be out there controlling the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Let us make St. Kitts the number one in the world for safety over convenience.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Sergeant.
you,
You did an
Sergeant
awesome
Henry.
job today, as per usual. And we are missing Inspector, who has been
Transferred to a different department.
To a different department.
She's courting today. She's in court today?
Yes.
We miss you, Inspector.
Hi, Inspector
Congratulations on your
Fuchs.
transfer. And we wish you every success. When and if you can, please feel free to come back in the seat. If not,
Yes,
you're with
congratulations,
our
Colleen.
spirits. Woo! Congratulations.
for being kicked upstairs.
I hope I don't have to see you anytime soon. No, we don't want to see that. But we wish you well.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sergeant Henry.
Yes.
Too many stunt drivers on the road, man. With the fire day driver, what's your emergency?
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Buying your medication is easy with City Drugstore's curbside pickup. WhatsApp our certified pharmacist at 662-8769 with your requests. For prescriptions, take a clear photograph and send for review. We will engage you in dialogue and then provide a quotation and link for payment. You can then pay via TDC's online payment portal. And once the transaction is complete, you'll be notified that your pickup is ready. Yes, it's that easy. Send your WhatsApp message to 662-8769 to order your medications today with City Drugstore's curbside pickup service.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
And we are back. It's 11 minutes after 9 o'clock. What are we talking about now? Oh, I just sent you guys this article about, you guys saw it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm now seeing it, so I'm fairly new to it.
I actually, this was something I saw a few, maybe about 2 or 3 months, maybe 2 months ago. But I'm surprised I never brought it up before. But
I want to talk, if we can,
ahead.
just
Sure.
like a little 10 minutes.
Sure.
Rusty, where you be? I want to talk a little politics. Just like, no, I know, just a little bit. Rusty, you there? I hope you're open ears. Anybody notice since the Big Lies, so brilliant commentary on particular ministers and the party, that the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party has been very active as of late? I know we're in the 92nd celebration of the party, but I think since Big Lies, who deserves a tip, I think.
It seems as though you have summoned the demon named Rusty.
Yeah, well, that's
everybody has a, everybody has
Hey,
a thing.
what's up?
Everybody has a thing.
Rusty, go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
I want to hear what Michelina is saying.
I'm saying, Rusty, have you noticed since Big Lies commentary that the party has become a lot more active and visible? And since his commentary, there has been a thrust for, I don't know, I want to say movement is almost like they're mobilizing. We're going to have, I saw something about a Central Fest, and they're trying to have a think tank where they gather persons from the community. I see Samuel out and doing the most. There were a number of ministers at the remembrance of the Buckley's riot. I think it's the 1935 Buckley's riot yesterday. I think I saw Drew, I saw Conrays, I saw Samuel, I see Miss Colleen Morton. And so since this eloquent commentary of the negligence of the foot soldier, the cry of the foot soldier, there has been an attempt to be more visible and engaging with the foot soldier. I'm not sure how authentic it is. I'm not sure if it's just a photo op or they just... And there's a lot more... Well, not a lot. It's definitely not a lot. But there is more party association with the ministers. I find, and this is my perspective as a member of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, when we are in power, we abandon the party. So everybody goes down to government headquarters and the party go dead. And evidence of this, just watch the page. Just watch the page and watch how we talk. And I understand as, a government and as ministers with portfolio, you should be serving everybody. But the Labour identity is almost always dropped or forgotten. But since we had Big Lies making that commentary, you just see there's a thrust to be visible, there's a thrust to seem like you're in community again. And in my newfound understanding, I'm putting a lot of the politics and the party politics in particular in the frame of Animal Farm. So you see a lot of squealers. Squealers was the pig that went to the different media houses and, they parroted and parakeeted all the good that the government was doing. I noticed there's a new squealer. Well, he's not a new squealer, but, you could see Edinburgh on the radio touting the great and good thing that the government is doing. I find that Big Lies deserve a tip.
So you guys did that book as well?
Yeah, I did the book Animal Farm in high school, and I have it in my library. I read it from time to time.
Yeah, I need to read it again.
I listen to Big Lies, and I don't see why what he said was so controversial. I think in a free speech society, especially when you're a public figure, you gotta make up your cat back. There are things that are going to come to you. Most importantly, as a leader, feedback is a gift. Good feedback, bad feedback, all feedback is a gift.
Thank you.
You know when you should be worried? When nobody say nothing to you. When nobody calling your name, that is when you used to get frightened. When nobody abusing you, when you don't have no haters, that is a problem. But you see when people brave and brazen enough to pick up your name, it's a gift. and it might feel uncomfortable. It might bring discomfort, but all feedback as a leader and as anybody with influence is a good thing. You worry when they ain't saying nothing about you. When you have people around you who have nothing to say, especially if there's a disagreement and they choose not to interrupt your foolishness, they choose not to lend a word of correction, that is when you is in a dangerous place. And I think Big Lies deserve a tip. If he getting 10,000, he deserve a little tip, man.
Okay, Rusty, what do you say?
Yeah, I want to agree with what she's saying, to be quite honest. I'm agreeing with what Michelina is saying. Almost 100%. All political parties damage themselves from within. That's the first thing. So sorry?
Go ahead, we're listening.
Yeah. They all damage themselves from within. But I have a sixth sense, a real sixth sense. And I told somebody before I left home, Labour is going. They were telling me, Labour is going to be in power for 40 years, and y'all ain't going to be in power for 40 years. And I keep saying, people ain't realize what's going on. I left St. Kitts, went to New Jersey. When I heard the naming of the candidates and the cabinet, I was shocked. I said to my friend immediately, that party is not going to last longer than 2 years. I had no idea about Big Lies and this situation at all. But it happened. And I can say it again, because the guys pushed Drew to fire Big Lies, they have to go back and make a move. They're going to call for another election. But the problem is there is nobody ready. PLP, we just need to just forget about them. But Pam's not ready either. Pam is not saying anything. The last thing that just came out on the media to me is the girl who at the UK or the EU ambassador. No, Pam ain't saying nothing about that at all. They're not saying anything. So who are you going to run to? Because Connors is not going to win his seat. Jeffrey's not going to win his seat. Marshall's not going to win a seat. Who else? Well, 7 and 5, they ain't going to win. So it's no way. And we're not preparing for that. The other thing is we need to pay attention to.
But Rusty, you realize you just contradicted yourself, though. You said you in a way you just contradicted yourself, because you're saying that Marsha and Connors, so these people are not going to win their seat, and but you also said that Pam is not doing anything. So how is that going to work?
Well, listen, this is a politics. You could win your seat or not win your seat, and you're still in power. I don't know if you understand that. That might be a little too much for the conversation, right?
But for practical purposes, they didn't. In that case, they won the seat.
I think, Rusty, this is what I think is going to happen. I won't make a declaration that, Marsha won't win and Samal won't win and Conris won't win. It would be very hard for Conris not to win, especially. I think for him, he has lost. Unlike a lot of them, he knows what lost is. And although he might not be winnable at this moment, I think he is going to fight more than most to keep that seat, because a loss of number 3 is a loss of legacy. And I don't think that is going to happen easily. I think whoever wins that seat is going to be a fight for it. I do agree that the oppositions are not as active. Pam in particular for me is very disappointing, because they have decades and they should be doing more and they should be challenging more organizationally, internally and outwardly. They just need to get their ish together. They're very disappointing as an opposition. PLP for me look very sneaking, like I don't know what they're doing. They're quiet. Their last performance in the last elections over Pam was something to look at and think about. What I noticed though is that what I'm speaking to is that Big Lie said something. He said for me some very important things, some things that a lot of us are afraid to say. And because he said those things, you are seeing actions to the things that he said. Often we would not give him that credit. We would say he bad, we would say throw him out of the party, we would say him pay his bills. However, if we are honest with ourselves as a people, because of what he said, there is a visible thrust to engage the foot soldiers and to engage the people, because certain activities is only for certain foot soldiers, you know. The going church and all them kind of things is only certain people that is called to participate in outright visible political activities. A lot of the beneficiaries of the party never have to put on a red shirt from my observation. They never have to put on an orange shirt. They don't have to put their professional and personal image at risk. They don't have to put their bankability and professionalism at risk. Those are the things that certain foot soldiers, certain persons from the working class are subject to. That is your duty. We go in church and you is responsible for coming church, but not the person carrying home $100,000. Not the strange faces you see on these board and sitting down high. Them they ain't got them, they're fancy. And maybe they bring money, and so you have to bring your labor. That's something I'm working out there. I wouldn't say that these individuals won't win their seats, but I'm thinking that because Big Life so eloquently and so bravely spoke on behalf of the masses, now you are seeing action. And in the public square and the public discourse, I think it's responsible to give him that credit. Because he did a hard thing. He got a lot of licks. I hope he was not fired. I really hope he was not fired for having a voice and for being a bit controversial. I hope the party could stomach a little bit of controversy. Because you went to him knowing who he
Let me just make one point. I'll run now. The Prime Minister said on the Edge show, as I said, he said that he has done the proper diligence and this and that and stuff like that, and he's clear of the situation that his government took. But I wonder if he really did the work, because if he can tell me clear what the government said to him, what about what Big Lie said? Big Lie said there is another demolishing company demolishing the school. Why the Prime Minister didn't come out and tell us who this other company is? He did due diligence. He could tell us that. There are other stuff that he mentioned, that Big Lies mentioned, but he didn't answer any of Big Lies' question. So what? I mean, there's a game. These guys are. Listen, I'm Labour. I'm in Labour. I'm not a Labour. I'm in Labour since I was about 5 years old. My old aunt was Labour. We used to go to Mass's house. I used to jam Runaway Billy Herbert, Brush Up Your Breath, whatever these songs they used to sing. I used to be in all Labour stuff. So I know Labour inside out. I ain't just talking Labour because I'm a pap. I know Labour inside out. I went to Labour classes with Gumbs and Marcella. I went all them times I was going to Labour and in Mass's house. So I know what I'm talking about. Labour is playing a game right now. And if Drew does not understand his party, he better think twice. Until Drew come out and tell us what his due diligence is, I don't believe that he's telling me. I don't believe a thing he's telling me. Anyway, guys, I'm gone. If you hear anything else, I'll call back.
Thank you very much.
One of my takeaways from Big Lice's presentation was you could say there could be a moral victory coming in the sense that he talked about the importance of challenging these people who think they're demigods, who think that they don't have to answer to us. And he said, well, he's going to test that in court. And that's something that stuck with me, because I think for too long in our culture, our political culture has this. It's giving. It's giving.
If we talk too much, remember Napoleon the pig had dogs, attack dogs that he kept away, and he reared for any sort of dissent.
Yes.
And so you dare raise your voice against Napoleon and question the change in laws, then the attack dogs are released to take you out.
Exactly.
And the attack dog could be the court system, financially, they blacklist you socially, they blacklist you. All governments do it. You just need to understand the system and what is being done. What my humble opinion from observation is, Big Lie's victory is not the courtroom. And the courtroom is not the most powerful room in St. Kitts. It's the court of public opinion. Politics is a game of people. and a politician needs the majority. And so big lies don't need to win in the court, you know. That fine gonna be paid or he gonna go jail, he gonna be right. He gonna be alright eventually. The risk you're taking is in the court of public opinion. As a politician and as a public leader, you need the majority. And when you are going to ostracize a public leader, a person of influence, you are putting yourself at risk there.
I also think we should practice. We need a modification of the descriptor you use there. We need to practice saying servant leader.
I can't hear you, Jams. I don't know why.
Oh, try the headphones. Maybe you could
Can't hear.
Really? Maybe the headphones. Oh, try one of those the headphones like with the red cable. Those ones. So we're all on the same page orally. So
Go ahead.
You can hear me now, right?
I can hear you.
Yeah. So I was saying, we need to. Enver always used the term servant leader. You know, that always stuck with me because I think a lot of our politicians, not a lot, probably all, seem to think that we work for them or we're their peons and their minions. They don't understand that they work for us. So servant leader is a term we should be thinking rather than saying leader. Servant leaders. You are serving us.
Leaders.
We can kick you out if you step wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your nose clean or we'll vote you out. Mm-hmm. And they need to be, maybe even harshly sometimes, reminded of this fact.
It's also a gift. I don't understand where you don't see feedback, even if it is negative feedback, as a gift. It is a gift. That is one of the things I learned from my professional sponsors. You might not like what I have to say, but that I take energy to answer you and give you time and attention, whether I do it with compassion or not. It is a gift because then you use that information to better yourself. The squabble and how it was done could have been handled differently, but what we were able to see, I absolutely love, is how these men in leadership handled conflict. We are talking about young men on the piece and how, they should handle conflict, how teachers should handle conflict, how everybody should handle conflict. But we see these leaders, these national leaders, the way in which they handle conflict, and it is at best questionable. More importantly, what I loved most about it is the talking, because when big legs talk, we know what's going on. We didn't know a lot of things, so the more that he speaks, the more informed we are. The more that Conway reacts, the more we are able to understand and measure his character and his leadership. The more that they do is the more information we have, and the more information the public have, the more informed we are to make better decisions. It is not the courtroom at play here, it's the court of public opinion. Politics is a game where the majority.
And you having said all that, we should not look at the I abhor sometimes the kind of reactive lurches from issue to issue sometimes politicians do when the citizenry start to kick up about certain things. But we should also, I think, give them the grace where they're being reactive, but at least we should grant them at least they're trying to take corrective measures based on feedback they're receiving. Right?
Yeah.
And give them some grace.
Yeah,
but give them some stick and some grace.
Yeah, I definitely believe, and that is why I said, Big Lies has taken a lot of licks. Publicly, he has taken a lot of licks from the party dogs who are attacking him. He has taken a lot of licks from, other individuals that don't agree with his position. But when you're going to have a voice in the public square, that is a consequence, and you have to be able to use the feedback. One of the things Colin constantly teaches me is that as a leader, your responsibility is how to use the question you have to constantly ask yourself, Michelina, how to use what is given to you. You could look for a villain, you could be upset, but a leader's responsibility is to how to use it. You got fired, how to use the opportunity. You got slandered, how to use the opportunity. That is what leaders do, because I don't know how much of us actually understand, and when we went to our constituencies and our classes, learned. Politics is a game of the majority. It is very, very dangerous to offend. It is dangerous to give injury, because you need people. When the dogs come and attack me, who gonna come and call me 4 years from now? Because I writing down names and stories when I abuse me off. It can't be all you're coming back for me.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. It's 9:31. We have some calls coming, but let's get the break out of the way, and we'll come back and we'll take your calls. But I just thought, Michelina was talking about foot shoulders before. I thought I'd play out with this, so check this out.
Let all who have ears draw near to hear the plight of the foot soldiers all over, everywhere. After working like hell to ensure victory, you overlooked us for them, Johnny. Come lately, when we are the ones who do all the dirty work and the campaign trail.
You found the sound. 98.9 Win FM.
Soldiers, the willful soldiers, can't you feel our pain? Is we who does beyond duty campaigning, and is we who does be down in the trenches fighting, is we who does take bullets and blows for you, is we who does leave the war battle scarred and blue. I'm talking about the foot soldiers fighting on the front line, putting up posters and signs for the battle of the mind. Oh my God, I'm talking about the foot soldiers who does do all the dirty work.
And we are back, and that's Godfrey from the 2023 Calypso Eliminations at Spratnet, the real foot soldiers. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, Ananti, you're on the air.
Hi, good morning to the radio listeners and the beautiful hosts of this program. I think for far too long, we somehow equate people in position as leadership. And there's a vast difference between leadership and people in authority. What we have had in St. Kitts for far too long, both public and private sector, is people in authority. People in authority is concerned about power, control, ego, dominance, know-it-all. People in leadership is concerned about building a team, consensus, compassion, empathy, molding, encouraging those who are part of the team to grow and become the best that they can. People in leadership is concerned about creating the next person to take over their position. People in authority is concerned about keeping that position and that authority for however long it may take. And I think we need to stop confusing, as I said, position with leadership and recognize that what we have here is generally egotistic people who is just concerned about themselves and power and not concerned about the masses. And as a result of we electing people who are so egotistic, what happens is that whenever somebody questions them or makes comments or criticism about them, the ego gets into what we call defensive mode. And as a result of the ego getting into defensive mode, the mind of rational thinking in relation to the criticism goes through the window. And so that egotistic person who gets the criticism cannot look at the criticism from a standpoint of either a blessing or a lesson, and therefore only see it as somebody who is opposing them. And people who are in authority, whenever somebody opposes them, they think about destroying them. They think about punishing them. They think about making their life as hard as possible, both in the private and public sector. So we have a situation where we as a people have to learn to elect leaders and not people who are concerned about power, authority, and their elated ego. And that's my contribution for today.
That was a great way in, actually.
But what do you think make the politicians become so protective of their space and they develop an ego? Is because of the constant bashing of their personalities, or people just saying things that aren't true that bothers them? Because no one likes things that are said that are untrue about themselves, so they become defensive.
Yeah, but what if they're true? What if the things being said are
but
true?
do you think everything that they say about politicians are true?
Yeah, but that's not the point. That you're asking the wrong question.
I don't think
so what
it's
question should
true.
I be asking?
The question
then?
should be asking if these things are true, and no, if these things are true,
I ask if
then you need to fix them.
Them defending themselves becomes an ego, or looks like an ego, because
For me, sorry, not to cut you off, I want to relate a story.
We have two calls. Do you wanna let's
Okay,
go
let's
ahead,
take the
let's
call.
take the calls.
Caller, go right ahead.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Mr.
I think
McMahon.
that morning, I think that previous caller had made some really important observations. He was right on the button. Okay? And in addition to that, what happens is that the people in authority / leaders surround themselves with people who essentially becomes like an echo chamber.
Yes.
They cannot. That's exactly what happens. You know, it's people who you generally tell them what they want to hear, not what they should hear. Okay, and that perpetuates the situation. But I'd like to comment on something Rusty said. I grew up pretty much in the same environment with like Rusty, politically speaking, and I can tell him that the Labour Party then is not the Labour Party now.
No, it's very different.
You know, you cannot apply the same principles. You can't say that. You can't say it definitively that they're predictable. You know, it's totally different. I think it might have been Dr. Douglas who coined the term New Labour. Maybe it might not have been him, but certainly there was the perception that when he took over the reins of government, it was, in inverted commas, New Labour, right? And it seems like now we're having a new Labour.
Next
right?
gen.
And so, that really muddies the waters. It's not so much about the principles of the Labour Party, so much as someone pointed to things like ego and popularity and those kinds of things, which are really superficial. It's not the bedrock principles like before. Okay, but one thing I know for sure is that not only has the Labour Party changed, but the electorate has changed as well. The people have changed as well. They have higher expectations. They are less inclined to be loyal to a party, especially if that party itself seems to be factionalized. Okay, and so they themselves, the electorate is also unpredictable. And so I guess we'll have to wait and see how everything falls out. I also agree with Rusty, though, when he said that the explanation that, well, basically all the cabinet members are above board, adhering to good governance principles and so on. A carte blanche statement like that was not good enough. There were specific allegations and challenges made, and I think those should have been answered. It could not be answered by just saying, well, we did due diligence, and that was the end of that. What did that due diligence entail? Did it entail going to the minister and asking him about the allegation, and the minister said it ain't true, and that was the end of due diligence? It should not be. Okay? And so those are things.
That's what it's like.
What's that?
I said in Nevis, that's what it's like. That's how the process of integrity is. If the minister says something, the rigmarole to actually investigate it. Yeah.
And that's not good enough, right? That is not what integrity in public life should be about. Okay? That's not accountability, right? And so I suspect that further down the road, well, not adhering to those principles in the first place is probably going to get them into more trouble. All right, and so I suspect that if it's just a cosmetic approach to things where you put these things in place, but you're not really committed to them, you're going to have the similar problems as in the past. So we'll wait and see what develops. But and by the way, with Big Lies, I don't know. If you pass,
hold on.
Hello?
No. You can go ahead, Mr. McMahon.
If you're part of a team, you got to be a team player, right? If you wanna be a grenade thrower, well, exit the team and fight your battles there. That's my way of looking at it.
Okay.
Essentially, fight the battles within the team. Of course, express your dissatisfaction or whatever within the team, not in public. But once you decide to go public, exit, make an exit, and then you're free to say and promote whatever you wish. That was my take on it. Okay then.
Okay. Call or go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to make the point when I'm saying that they're the same thing. I don't mean that Jew is Bradshaw or Jew is Southwell or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. So let me just get to the point I'm making. Remember that when Bradshaw on the scene, everybody thought he was a god. He came to save the whole of St. Kitts. He did some good stuff. I'm not going to lie to you. One good thing I could tell my family was that my aunt was transferred from the library, and they came and demonstrated when she was working at the Democrat, and he walked across and he told his people to go away and leave her alone. That's one. The other thing is Bradshaw was a people person. He was definitely a people person. So he walked around talking to the people. All right? Are you hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you, Rusty. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he walked around and do people. But when Bradshaw died, this is where you get to see Labour even more. Bradshaw was a tough guy. You if you know any stories about Bradshaw, I wouldn't get into the dirty stories, but if you know any dirty stories about Bradshaw, you know he was a tough guy. When Bradshaw died, Southwell became the Prime Minister. Southwell went on national TV. I saw it for myself. He came on national TV and he was giving an address to the nation, and he was literally crying. Eventually, he went down to St. Lucia, whatever island down there in Windman Island. He came back up in a box. And then we had Limor. Limor came his first as Prime Minister, Premier. First move was to move all the civil servants up to Bastille High School for a meeting And everybody was mad with him. Everybody, because he's showing his power. I'm here to control you. Bring it in the whole story. Figure it out for yourself. And then when he died, when he lost, and then Douglas came in. Douglas did the same thing, but Douglas did it with technology and ingenuity and what have you. He do it to them that they don't even know they're being punished. They don't even know they're being dragged through some mud with Douglas. And that's what I'm talking about. The strategy and the techniques that they use, they're different from day one, but it's basically the same. They just do it in a different way. That's the point.
Thank you very much, Rusty. Do we have any more callers, Jamster?
No. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Oh, we lost that one.
They'll call back for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kortensia says, or she asked a question rather. What was the question you asked, Kortensia?
Is everything said about them true? And is it because of all the false stories that are said about them, or the constant attacks that they get, especially when it comes to their manifesto, and they put out all these things they're going to do and they're not doing it, and then they feel, I would want to assume they feel bogged down because people are just on their backs all the time, so they develop an ego, they put up a wall to basically protect themselves.
Oh, trust me, the ego was there before.
It was there before.
Yeah.
For me?
It's all about ego with these people.
But I've heard you give somebody money and power and that's it. You'll see the real person, right?
You have a call.
Okay.
Call go right ahead.
Good morning, Island. Good morning.
Good morning.
Politics.
You can hear me good?
Yes, you can.
Okay, no problem. Now, first, I always want to thank God for life and thank God for the Federation of Navy. A country where we could do better as black people mixed with other race. But you see, we're so much against one another. Sometimes we just got to ask the Father why it should be so. Now, to be truthful, right, with the situation with big lies, I hear people talking because they're on the opposite side and saying all kind of thing, right? With me, Mr. Politics, I learned my politics so good now that I ain't take it serious. You know why I ain't take it serious? If Big Lies was a star wall in the Labour Party and he got a position and he come out and he say what he got to say, right? Well, I believe that the opposition will have more grounds and more things and with whatever. Big Lies wasn't a foot soldier for Labour. Big Lies work with the Dr. Joe, help him to win his seat, and he get a job. But I don't think Big Lies are some foot soldier of the Labour Party. The foot soldier of the Labour Party, some of them, they work, they do what they got to do, and they look for nothing. You understand? So we got to think about when these things happen. We don't jump for joy and say this, that, and that. Everybody know the political game in sync right now. And who ain't want to learn the politics now? That's the business now, but I learn good now. I learn it good. That's why I got this name, politics. Because I learn the politics very good. Some people just looking for what they want, and when they can't get what they want, they come out and they say all kind of thing. If you in a government, you either wherever, to the Prime Minister, whatever, and you have a situation, come to Mr. McMahon, the situation wasn't supposed to come out there like that, unless they don't question you. And as I say again, if one a Star Wars Labour supporter they do that too, I will come down and speak out against it, because this is going on. You work with your party, you get a position, and because you see things going wrong and you speak out about it, they try to penalize you. All right then, you all have a wonderful day. God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Politics.
I'll listen to it and listen to comment after I don't speak.
Okay. Thank you very much, Politics. Do we have another call, Damster? Okay. The point I was trying to get across to what Kortensia says, as a leader, you have a right to defend yourself. As a human being, you instinctively want to defend yourself, even animals. What Colin is teaching me, and I say teaching me because I'm a guerrilla warrior. Like, you come for me, I coming back. Politics is a game of majority. Politics is not winning the courthouse, it's winning the court of public opinion. you as a leader have a responsibility to protect yourself without causing offense. You have a responsibility to protect yourself without giving anyone or a majority, a mass in the public, something to weaponize against you. And let me give you a story. I remember one time I went to Cockershelby, Reggae Beach, and I ordered my food. I had purchasing power. I was a customer. I was a national. And the waiter brought out my food. He was very rude and disrespectful. And he put on my food. And nonsensible Michelina. I went to argue. And I may want it and I hang on the manners and Colin seen down there. He just ease up his chair to distance himself a little bit in case people think that he with me. Like, I don't know who that crazy person be. I not with her. I went in completely embarrassed myself because I had something to say and it was my money. And you know, I is the one who paying his salary and he must. I was authorized. I had positional authority. I had a right. There was another waitress who come around. And the woman, mama guy me, sweet me up so nice. I forget a vex. May take the food and eat it. And while I there, you know, and abusing on the beach and eating the food. You know what that woman did? She defended the dollar of that purchase, got her purchase, got her tip, and my mama self sit down there and eat the food, and I was right. When we driving back in, Colin laughing, he laughing. I said, Colin, what make you laughing? Because remember, Colin separate himself because he ain't getting tainted with Michelina Momonis. But I right, and I arrogant, and I puffed up. I mighty right. He said, Michelina, you realize that waitress handed your A to you? You realize she handed your U to you? As well as when your food went back in there, they could have spit in it. They could have put all kind of things in it. You were right.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, I never send back food.
You were right.
I will let them know my complaint, but I'm not sending it back.
No, he said you were right.
Mm-hmm.
It was not responsible, and you did not win.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes when we are right and we have positional authority, we think we could use those things to get what we want. And for me, that's what it is. A courthouse win is not the same as a win in the court of public opinion.
Understood.
And influence is very different from power.
Mm-hmm.
And I disagree with politics, and I disagree with Mr. McMahon. The more that they talk, the more we see, the more we understand, the more we know. All of it acts in the public interest. We know how our leaders are. We know how they deal with conflict. We know what their weakness is. I saw a picture in the newspaper recently where they went over to Nevis. They went over to Nevis to support, collaborate with Mark. You know what I thought? That was me just looking at it. That was political collaboration to strengthen force. That was leverage. So whoever foot soldier, you little vex or whatever, please know we consolidating power. With 3 seats and whatever we're going to have, it's going to be very hard or even harder to oust us.
Mm-hmm.
So sit down and simmer. That's what I think. But the more they talk, the more we see, the more we understand. I don't believe it is in the public interest, nor should any responsible citizen be saying, if you use a stalwart labor hush and do it inside. The more we see, the more we understand, the more informed we are. Yes, as a minister of government, yes, as a leader, you have a right as a human being to defend yourself. What makes you brilliant and lasting is how you defend yourself. You must use strategy that is going to win the public opinion, not just what the magistrate says. Yep. You have to think about the mind of the people who you are operating with and for and leading. we still live in a very classist society where a lot of the common man and the working class can't pay a lawyer. And so your leverage is that of privilege that is inaccessible to the people who you're asking to vote for you.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what you're demonstrating there. If somebody tells somebody they're going to give somebody a lawyer to defend themselves, a lot of us who are working could barely pay we bills. We can't pay a lawyer $10,000 to defend us. You are differentiating yourself. So for me, my observation was just that. How Big Lie's conversation triggered activity and visibility and a reconnection to the common man. Thank you, Big Lies, very much for doing that. Whether he paying his bills or not paying his bills, whether he's a hypocrite or not, what I have to say on that is, he did not change. He did not perform different. The St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party went and picked him up doing that. He was slandering everybody else. You think you're special, so hang on, do it to you. That is who you went and selected. He has not performed differently. And so this instance for me worked in the public's interest because we had an opportunity to see some things, to understand some things that we might have never known. When Big Lie said people going home with cash and kind and allowances, $100,000, up to now I can't catch myself.
But isn't that the same thing with all governments? When they said the last administration, persons in there went home with monies as well. I just think it's the same. I don't see the difference.
But that is information for me to have Kortensia. If you are going to come and tell me PLP is bad and Tim Glenn was going home with a whole lot of money and it's corruption and it's family this and but wait, Len was going home with a lot of money, but this man going home with a lot of money too. That is important for me. That's important information for me to have as a voter because I need to be able to see again on Animal Farm. All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others, and how we change the rules to suit ourselves. As a thinking voter, I must be able to see and understand that, but they're changing the rules. Who they changing the rules to benefit? This is what we should be training our young people and our people in general to think and to see. Every time you get information, Colin is teaching me, every time, every single time with everything, you have a responsibility to say, what am I supposed to get from this? What am I supposed to do with this? At no point in time, when information, when experience is given to you, that you have the privilege to get up on your high horse and be right and mighty and to shun it.
Let's squeeze in a call. We have, wow, why did people wait till the last minute to call? Never fails.
Call back.
Where they do that at? Go ahead, caller.
Yes. Kortensia, I kind of sense frustration in your voice. That they're all the same, it's never going to change. Mm-hmm. And I think that is a defeatist attitude, right? I hope the electorate does not get as cynical as that.
It's also a realistic attitude.
What's that?
It's also a realist attitude.
No, but then, Zamster, if that's the case, then nothing will ever change. Are you telling me that nothing will ever change, that nothing can change?
Probably not.
What? Wow. Well, I hope that everybody don't get as cynical as that and throw their hands up and just, opt out of the system.
I'll quote a line from the Obstinate song, famously produced and arranged by Kenrick Georges, by the way. All of self and none of thee.
Yes, but we have power too, right? And like I always said, if we don't like the government that we have, change them and keep changing until we get the government that we want. It might take decades, it might take a lifetime, but you can't, because what you're doing there is essentially rewarding bad behavior. Do you really want to do that? Even if you're right and that they're creaming off the top or whatever, right? At least Give them the 5 years, let them cream up the top and throw them out and give somebody else another shot at it. Doesn't that make more sense than just keeping the same because you think that nothing will change?
No, I wasn't saying that. I'm just saying that they basically do the same things. Manifestos come out, and I don't want to bash anybody. I really don't like
bash anybody.
discussing politics. That's just my opinion. But we don't see half of these things being done until it's close to the next election. I know they come in, they probably don't know what the public purse has. Everybody have the great ideas, all governments have great ideas, but you never see, it's never seen into fruition.
But the public has a responsibility to assess that and do something about it.
And
right?
I think that's what they've been doing.
Just opt out. And one thing we should look for, what has not happened in the past, generally speaking, have not happened in the past. It probably won't happen now, too, with the one-seat majority. But one of the ways that governments can shake up things is to have a reshuffle. We don't have reshuffles here. And so, if a minister is performance is not up to par, he stays in that office, generally speaking, right? Sometimes it needs internal shake-up in government.
But let me ask you a question, though.
Get things working.
Let me ask you a question.
But it's very hard to do with one-seat majority when you're essentially walking on thin ice and one person can make a government fall.
But should reshuffles be across the board, or should they be more granular and particular? Meaning, let's say you have a minister who maybe he's not doing so well in, say, agriculture, but he has other ministries with, maybe the jury's out on how he's doing on those. So is it across the board?
No, you can shake up portfolios as well. You don't have to be all the ministries across the board. They don't have to be ministers per se. Okay. You can do the two. You can. There are strong ministers and there are weaker ministers, or let's say less strong for argument's sake. And if you see failings in particular area, you might want to put a strong minister there to shore up things. And similarly, you may have portfolios that really should not be together for want of, like, for instance, you might say national security and finance and so on, really heavy portfolios that, demand that, the attention of the sole attention of a minister.
I agree.
And so they should be separate.
I actually
think that way.
I
think I said, it's hard to do those kinds of things where you have a one-seat majority because, some may take it very badly and act out their frustration and cause the fall of the government,
Okay. All right. We're over time, so 4 minutes after 10 o'clock. Guys, so you guys, Michelina, yeah.
I had a really good time with the politics conversation, and I just want to reiterate that what I thought was Big Lie's contributions provoked action, and that is a good thing.
Thanks for telling me, because I didn't even realize stuff was going on.
Yeah, so when you pay attention, you see, as I said, there is a central fest. Minister Maynard started having one-to-one. You see Minister Hanley had, like a chill and meet, and they're doing activities. So there was a criticism about the party neglecting the foot soldiers. And then immediately after, it could be a coincidence, and, they were on the agenda anyways to get done. But the new year has started, and instead of seeing them flying out in packs, and what the country is having is like, oh my God, look at them at the UN, look at them in Dubai, look at them here, look at them in there. They're home, and they're doing work. At least they're looking like they're doing work. So I think that is a response. Again, the Animal Farm propaganda of power, their messaging. You go to the Labour Facebook page, they got like 3 or 4 or 5 messages for the last week or few months. You could go back and see how dormant it was before that. So criticism, feedback from everybody is important, And because of what he said, you don't have to like him. His bills are not paid. Put that as a strike against him.
Well,
but he did something that has a ripple effect, and the ripple effect seemed to be more net positive. However, they decide to deal with their internal conflict. I hope the Prime Minister gets a mediator or therapist so that they could smooth it out. But it's
okay. So
socially, it's good, I think.
Okay, I think it's time for us to wrap. But let's see how long they behave, because everyone has short memories, not just the general populace. The politicians have short memories too, so they'll probably appear like they're behaving for a little while and then
behave again,
and then start to fly out in droves and have one minister here and perhaps running on, not running. We don't know. Hey, hey, listen, I am so cynicized at this point, right? I'm
hopeful. I see good things happening. And
a breadfruit would do a better job of running the country than these people.
No, Jamsa. I think that they got some licks, and they took stock of it.
I got a breadfruit yesterday, so that's why.
No, they got some licks. They took stock of it, and if we are paying attention to them, they are actually coming out doing some work or looking like they're doing some work in response, and that is a good
looking
thing.
Like I love that part.
Because
looking like
I keep saying when we speak, they have to listen. And I'm very, very much a believer of when we speak, they have to listen. So don't be afraid to use your voice. Yes, there are consequences for using your voice, but if it matters to you, speak to it, because that is one of the ways that we change situations and the country for the better. And I do have hope in the leadership of the country. I do have hope for the government. I do have hope for the citizens that we would continue to hold them accountable, and the response to accountability would be positive change and not right and power and smite.
Okay. And on that note, we will shut it down and hopefully leave the servant leaders, quote unquote, because some of them don't see themselves as servants, they see themselves as overlords. You would do well to rethink the way you think about your remit as ministers of our country, ministers of our government. So I'm just gonna say that. You have anything to say, Kay?
No, other than have a great day to one and all, and a good week.
Yeah.
And stay safe.
For real. I'll see you guys. Well, see Kay tomorrow. We'll see the great Michelina
on Friday.
We'll see the Afro Puffs on Friday. She didn't hear.
No, she didn't hear.
She didn't hear. No, I was saying we're gonna see the Afro Puffs on Friday.
Oh, Afro Puffs? No, I don't take out the pig titty.
Mm-hmm.
No puffy puff.
Pig titty, I like that.
Bantu knots. She's using the local term. Alrighty, so folks, have a great day. Thank you for listening. Same time, same place.
Actually, no, Bantu knots.
Bantu knots,
yes. Bantu knots, yeah.
It's Bantu knots, but I say pig
titty.
titty.
That's the local.
I actually like that, yeah. Yeah, I like that, yeah. That works better.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Alrighty, folks. Bye.